Joe Rogan made it seem like he was holier than holy. As a Christian youth pastor, he dedicated
Youth pastors a red flag.
his TikTok to showing respect for women until 6 different people exposed him for his own secretly terrible history.
Oh my
You could
God.
see the red flags in early tweets like
Ricardo.
this. I am a Christian, and I support LGBTQ, and I support BLM, and I support people of other faiths, and I support a women's right to choose. The need to vocalize his own morality was almost strangely excessive, and his TikTok videos weren't any different.
Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome in.
He wanted to punch all men who talked about how women dressed, while reminding his female followers that they had total control of their body. When he wasn't supporting women,
What up? What up?
it was instead minorities.
Reynaldo.
It's homophobia, racism, misogyny, you name it, all thinly veiled as a joke, and you're not fooling anybody.
Which people found suspicious long before he was exposed.
But when this dude is making almost his entire
Oh god, Overwatch commentary YouTuber, red flag as well.
personality about respect women, always be nice to women, respect, 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 it gets a little overboard, to be honest.
When questioned about his
I mean, no, not really.
motives,
I mean, his whole personality, yeah, but...
Joe Rogan snapped pretentiously,
Just imagine being so worried about losing your male privilege that you would call anything that has to do with equality for women anti-men.
believing that when all men are killed, he'd be spared because of his TikToks. And when he did also occasionally support
Okay, that's a red flag. All men be killed? What the fuck?
men,
Now I've talked about men getting body shamed, women getting body shamed.
the objective was still the same. Try to make himself seem like a person who did no wrong. The caption of his merch was literally "Be Better," which seemed true to him as a church office manager and youth pastor on the weekends.
So depending on how long you've been following me, you may or may not know that I'm actually a very religious person.
People therefore heavily respected him, even making stan accounts such as Lovely Joe Rogan
Hey, and Pacing! Turning up with a gifted sub! Pacing, you are a queen.
while comments on his live streams read, "I have so much respect for you. You speak for others and it makes me so happy." Any videos criticizing him were met with thousands of dislikes until people became suspicious of Joe Rogan's supposed morality. In late
I was
2020,
gonna get... Bro, Pacing's got quick fingers.
a TikToker named Gemini Official was exposed for his relationships with multiple young girls. Being in line with Joe Rogan's content,
Bro, listen. Here's one thing I don't understand. This is how crazy these pedos are, bro. Listen, especially if you're on the internet as a creator, you're gonna get exposed for being a pedo every single fucking time, okay? Every single time, it's gonna come out. But like their urge for children and underage people is so strong that that's crazy.
and people asked him to talk about it, although for whatever reason, Joe Rogan avoided the topic.
Message Joe saying, hey, this is a problem, can you speak about it? Which is bizarre that it would take you so long to talk about somebody who's grooming children.
Joe Rogan later explained on
Sus.
Discord that denouncing the actions was simply too obvious, although having previously claimed the goal of his TikTok was to create a safe space for young people, it seemed odd that Joe Rogan didn't want to talk about it. Perhaps he was simply avoiding drama, but this wasn't the only example where Joe Rogan deflected an obvious topic. He'd become friends with a TikToker named The Calvin Brandel, whose videos promoted a similar sentiment to those made by Joe Rogan. Well, turns out he'd been doing exactly what he disavowed, explaining he thought it was okay because he was TikTok famous.
I felt that with TikTok, my ego was super inflated, and I felt like I was invincible, I was unstoppable, I couldn't make any mistakes.
Forgot I unfollowed that guy, but I'm glad I did.
Despite having photos together on Instagram, Joe Rogan avoided the situation.
You have no problem calling out problematic men, but it seems like the problematic man is your friend.
Holy fucking shit, Penny! 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 Ah! We're 10 gifted! That's crazy to me, chat. That's crazy. Shout out Pin!
And you're a little quiet.
Eventually addressing
Bro, it really is. I lost count. I literally lost count. Bro, I think that's literally over 100 subs just today. Bro, this community is the best ever, bro. Everyone's so supportive. Everyone's so amazing. Pacing. You girls are the motherfucking best.
It happened with this
I don't
iconic
deserve you at all,
statement.
Penny.
I'll say it
Pacing.
again. If you groom somebody, you are disgusting. The scum of the earth.
Joe Robe, however, was doing exactly this himself.
This was somebody that
no.
I felt safe around, but I don't feel safe around him anymore
What up,
because
Osby?
he's a groomer.
That's
On one
crazy.
unassuming Wednesday, 17-year-old TikToker DillG16 uploaded the following video.
This video will be about one of the biggest hypocrites I have ever met in my life, Joe Robe. John is a disgusting and terrible hypocrite who abuses his platform by using his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys. He has done this to multiple people, including me. John first followed me whenever I had about 30,000 followers and joined my live stream and asked for my Snapchat, so I gave it to him. After Snapchatting for a few weeks, he asked me if I wanted to get an Airbnb with him on my 18th birthday, which was over 3 months away. He started to send me links to one-bedroom Airbnbs, and he offered to purchase me alcohol if I went. And this is him talking about
Oh my god!
the one bedroom. He knew that I did not want to get the Airbnb, so he thought if he invited one of my IRL friends, I would want to go. That's him asking when he was going to turn 18.
And while Joe Robe was at least waiting until their 18th birthday,
I
the
appreciate
group
you
chat they
pacing.
shared wasn't quite so clean.
During one of the Zooms with all of my TikTok friends, John thought it would be a good idea to have us all take a BDSM score test and send him our results. Keep
And he's a youth pastor.
in mind, the youngest was 15 years old and the oldest were 19, and there were only two 19-year-olds and everybody else was 17 and below.
Which had happened just a month before Joe Robe's 28th birthday. DillG added one more detail before the video finished.
I found out that there are multiple people that John has groomed.
As a person named Coco then also came forward.
He started asking like different questions, like what state do you live in, and do your parents let you travel, and do you like to travel, and and he offered to buy me a room with him. He offered to buy me alcohol. This is the one quote I remember him talking to me. I may be a pastor, or I may work for God, but I'm not against kids having fun.
What the fuck?
I should have realized it right there.
Then there was another.
I can't go into specific details about what happened between me and Joro because it is quite not safe for work.
How
And another
many?
after that.
He'd also make promises about getting Airbnbs and meeting up with us. He'd promise alcohol and hot tubs.
Joe Robe's accusers then made a Google Doc listing everything else he'd done. He'd tried to get blank and blank to create an OnlyFans once he turned 18 and said he'd set it up for him and subscribe.
Bro, this is sickening. This is supposed to be a man of God, bro. He literally used Christianity to build himself a platform to find vulnerable kids.
Also strangely bribing the group to call him hot and locking a girl who was also intoxicated out of Zoom for calling him old and refusing to call him
What the
hot.
fuck?
Uppergut talked about the document in this video here, after which he'd be messaged a story worse than every other one combined.
Oh
I
my
ran a small
God.
fan account for Joe Robe on Instagram. He eventually
Don't claim
asked
him.
for
Well,
my
obviously,
Snapchat.
he's,
He told
you
me
know,
no
a
one
wolf
else
in
had his
sheep's clothing.
Snapchat and made me promise to not give anyone it or to tell anyone what we talk about. Conversations got really weird and he sent me a lot of dirty pictures, 4 of which were included to prove he wasn't lying. I was also 14 at the time. He didn't even bother to ask how old I was or for any form of identification,
Oh my God,
but he would
Chad.
call me a baby a lot and would try and force me to call him daddy. To make matters worse, John's church profile explained, outside of his work at St. John, he is a private music teacher with over a dozen students, and up until recently was the activities chair for the Northern Sky District of the Boy Scouts of America.
Of course, bro. Listen, there's a documentary on Netflix I urge you guys to watch about the Boy Scouts of America and how many pedophiles. Literally, there's an alarming rate of pedophiles who are arrested and caught in the Boy Scouts of America. It's actually insane.
But wait until you hear
Put
why he
down,
left
for
his
real.
previous job.
real,
Someone
Kenzie.
messaged one of the accusers. I wanted to reach out because I'm on staff at the church he used to work at. He was removed from staff over 2 years ago, and he was really upset with our church and strict protocols for working with youth, so he left to go to another church. We're currently in the process of contacting the other church and places he's at, as well as local authorities. Joe Robe's LinkedIn
That's
partially
creepy.
confirms the story's legit, as it shows he previously worked in the very same church as the lady who told
Jesus.
the anecdote. Unsurprisingly, Unsurprisingly, people demanded Joe Robe also lose his new job,
St. John Lutheran Church. You have some explaining to do.
with Papa Gut even calling the church directly.
This is the church that he works at. I know this because I called the church that he works at and I asked him if he works there. They said yes. I told them that they were very serious, incredible allegations. They immediately hung up after they said, oh, thank you.
Despite hanging up the phone, the church quickly deleted Joe Robe from their website before iSpeak1906 extracted an unofficial statement.
The pastor reached out and he wants to remain anonymous. However, the bishop is aware and he has been terminated and authorities have been contacted. And that's about all.
God,
but
bro.
the bigger question was, how did Joe Robe
This is
himself
sickening.
respond? Did he make a self-aimed TikTok about his own heinous actions?
You gotta report that shit,
He
Pacey.
deleted his TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, even his LinkedIn, and hasn't been heard from since. His refusal to address the two previous situations suddenly...
Bro is just disappearing and running. Bro, the police need to get his ass.
It all made sense, while others were less surprised. The accusation can't be real. A white knight influencer being secretly an awful person is unheard of. Not even surprised. It's always these types of men that end up being predators, but no one was less surprised than one of Joe Robe's former friends. As someone who personally knows John Bell and lived with him at university for a year, I can assure you that he's not the good guy here, and that these accusations line up with his past behavior. The dude was all-knowing, manipulative, homophobic, and tried to give off this ultrapious Christian facade. Nothing about his online presence was
so
genuine.
disgusting,
Karma is
bro.
taking a toll on him, and I'm glad he's getting thrown off the internet. Before any of this happened, Vegan Teacher had stated,
John Robert Bell, you're going straight to hell.
and it turns out
Finally, a vegan teacher W.
her song hit the nail on the head.
Oh my god, bro.